Facebook. It's the last day, and I'm going to be like recapping most of the content. And hey, Teresa, and I will see all of the questions they may have. So that's the program for today. There we are live. There we go, there we go, there we go. And I have someone so dear to my heart in our Zoom group today. I would really want everyone to be able to see her, but her computer has no camera today. That's Sister Jessica, my dear friend from Our Lady of Schanstatt. And she's been like of so much support, and she's been around me and like sending prayers my way. And I can only thank the Lord for having brought me this beautiful human being who's my dear friend, Sister Jessica. Thank you so much for being here with us today. Thank you, thank you. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Teresa. Nice to see you, lovelies. How are you doing today?
Good morning.
Good morning. I love this vibrant.
Hey, Lucy.
It's cloudy. It's overcast here today, so I decided to wear a very bright pop of pink.
You look great.
It works super well, doesn't it?
I don't know if my necklace is quite in the right spot. I had to add a safety pin to make it longer. I'll have to get one of those extenders for my necklaces.
Okay, there we go. Let me see if it is at the optimal point. Did you make the measurement?
I think technically it probably should be down a little lower.
Yeah, it seems to me that this is at the second balance point, which is not bad. Many people actually like, depending on how long of a face you got, the second will be better for you, because the first one might fall just, I hate it when the video is mirrored. I look at myself and I don't see what it like.
Right.
When I used to do like those dance classes, I was always the one who the teacher, like the instructor went to the right, I went to the left, because I can't do it mirrors. It's too bad. So like, yeah, I see that my hair is not good, and then I try to do it like to put it to the right side, and I bring it to the wrong one.
I didn't have time for hair today.
I hate it. When you have like a longer face, it's like your balance point is usually too much in between your breasts, and then it's very easy for you to be uncomfortable with that, which is not your case. And just like saying like in general. So when that is the case, the second balance point, which is the half length of your face, is the one that will be used, right? There are different ways to measure the second balance point. We are gonna go into that like in the Dress to Express, because it's like every person is different, so I cannot teach everyone here. But like rule of thumb, like first one is the length of your face, second one is half the length, right?
And
so
I missed that part when you were, I need to watch the video again when you had the measurement kind of go in half. I missed the first part of that, so I'll have to rewatch that one.
Yeah, and that was like one of the ways, it's one of the ways to measure it, but it many times it depends on your face shape, right? So that is one that is usually okay for everyone, but there are ways that we can have like the second most optimal one, but that has got to do with you specifically. I have to look at you and say, okay, so you go and do this. And like in a big, like for Zoom here in Facebook, it's hard.
Right. I know a woman, she's just like beautiful in that she switches up she's a career coach, and she's been doing a lot of Zoom calls, and she often wears big chunky necklaces way up here, you know, just to fill the space. And I'm already thinking that if I did the image consulting, I could already, you know, reach out to her and like, hey, I could help you with a few tips, or, you know.
Good. I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
You know what? Once we learn how to apply these things to ourselves, we start to realize what others do wrong. It's so funny. And you go like, if you knew your right color, you would look so much better. If you knew your balance point, you would look so much better. And then you go like this all the time. And the thing is, everybody can do that, but people have to understand that there is learning behind it. It's not something that, oh, okay, I'm doing it. No, you have to learn how to do that for you, right? Which is totally different than what I would do that like for myself.
Right.
Right, that's the beauty of it. But I love it that you're already like paying attention to those details. And something that happens is like if you have something right up here, and like what is important to understand is that, like I said before, there is no right or wrong, there is appropriate or not, right? So if you have something that is too high up here, most likely you will look like you are being strangled, that you're choking. It's too heavy on you, right? So, hey, Sherry, how nice that you have been able to be back with us. Love it. Thank you. Or it will attract people's eyes to that specific area. So you have to know that people will be looking at you at that focal point. Right. And like many times it happens that you choose to have a focal point like that to distract people from something else. So like if you, for instance, some women, they are very self-conscious of they're very self-conscious of their arms. They don't want their arms to show. But what they do is they wear the sleeve length wrong. So what they do is to make sure that people are looking at the arm. And these are things that you will only learn when you know the person's body and the person's challenges.
Cap sleeve or something, or
it depends on what part of the arm you don't like. Right, it always depends, because like everything that you wear will make people look at you a certain way. Okay, so they'll be looking at you and like it's not conscious, they will just be thinking, okay, they go and they look one way, they look another way, and the way they're looking may not be the way you want them to look. So this is why you have to really be mindful of placement of focal points and of what focal points are, so that you can choose them wisely and make them work in your favor.
I think generally I look better in V-necks too. I rarely wear, especially boat necks. I have broad shoulders, and so I usually wear like a jacket over some sort of a blouse or sweater like this for that reason, because then it creates like a V.
Yeah, well, V-neck is the universal neckline. Everyone looks good and even better wearing V-necks than any other neckline, okay? Then all of the other necklines, they will vary according to your face shape and your proportions, okay? And also for some people, it will depend on the shoulders, if they are wide, if they are narrow, if they are sloped, if they are regular, if they are like whatever type of shoulders you have will influence the type of neckline you may wear depending on the neckline. Okay, but the number one rule for the neckline is your face shape. Once you know your face shape and you know what you want to enhance, then you will be able to choose a neckline that works for you. And then something about choosing choosing clothes and sometimes even print wrong. I'll give you like this anecdote. Years ago, I went into this store with a friend, and both of us fell in love with this dress. But it was the kind of store that you had, like, you could not try anything in. You had to take home, and that was it. It was like a kind of a wholesale. So you could only buy things if you bought like in bulk. It was the two of us, we had to buy like 10 pieces together. So we each got 5. And then we went back home to try on. But then when we went back home, we could no longer return it, okay? I fell in love with this dress that like, there was a panda in the dress. It was a beautiful panda bear. And then what I did when I was like in the store was I just put it in front of me I look at myself in the mirror and I was like, okay, I look good. I like it. I like the colors. It was fine. I like the movement in the panda. It linked to my hair. Everything was fine. When I got home, that I tried it on, what I forgot to check was the back of the dress. So in the back of the dress, there was what? The panda tail. And where did it fall? Exactly like in the middle of my behind. No way. As I was walking, right, people would be looking at my behind moving like this with the panda tail, like saying hello. So we have to be mindful of so many details when we buy clothes. Sometimes we don't even realize that print, for as fun as they may be, may not be the best ones for us, right? In that case, I had to actually turn that dress into a shirt and wear only the top of it, because I didn't want people to be looking at my behind like that and thinking, oh, there goes the panda. No way, right? So these are important things for us to always have in mind. Welcome, Claire. Nice to see you again. Welcome, Maria. So good to see you all again.
Hi.
Today is our last day officially in the challenge, right? I'm going to go like really try to recap things with you, what we have learned and what we still have to learn. Before we go into content, I have a few reminders. First one, I shared in the group a link to this challenge that will happen like starting like today, which is someone that I really admire as a professional. And I have to say that just like all of you, I had like so much doubt when I first met him. It seemed that it was like, okay, this guy is just one more over there, like doing his stuff and trying to sell stuff. And I am like very cautious when I sell anything, because I don't want to sell to sound salesy, to sell that I'm forcing anything. So I'm very cautious when I buy something. I have known him for like over a year and a half at least, and I have followed him for long. And what I have to say is that I have purchased one of his programs, and only one of the bonuses of the program was already worth the whole money that I paid for. So if that is something that interests you, I would say take the challenge, like click on the link, just sign up for the challenge. You will get all of the information from that link. That is a link that I got from him. I loved it so much that I have become an affiliate. So if you can click on that, I would appreciate that you join from my link. He is really the deal. He is serious, and he like what he offers, you will get most likely more than what you think, right? That is one. Two, don't forget you have your 20% discount code for the pants. I know that some of you have already ordered them. They're really good. Otherwise, I wouldn't be, suggesting you get them. If you don't like, you can return. So even if there is a commitment because you're paying, you're safe because you can return, and that will be not a problem. But I don't believe you would be returning because they're really, really good. Third, you have been getting my emails with all of the information about the Dress to Express program. Today, I am going to go deeper and try to explain a little bit more about how the program is going to work. But I would really like to spend more time giving you more info than necessarily speaking about the program. So please come talk to me about the program so I can answer your questions in private. I know that there is a lot we can work on during those sessions. And the way that I work, well, you already have heard from Maria, right? I will give you what you need so that you have the results you're looking for, okay? Like I said yesterday, I do have a program to follow, but that program is a guideline. You are the people who will tell me what the next step is in our coaching program. This is how coaching goes. Coaching is all about the people I'm serving. It's not about what I think you need, okay? So you will really get from me what you want to get from me. Okay. If you have any questions, you can ask today, but I am also available to answer your questions in private, should that be necessary. All right. So real quick here, how's it going? Let's go back to what we have done this week, all of the content we have seen. And do you have any major questions you would like me to address? Like any maybe doubt that you have left because either you tried something after I explained, or because you watched it later and it wasn't live and you couldn't ask the question?
I have one quick one. You mentioned there was a segment on vanity, and I'll admit that I've struggled with that kind of you explain how you were shy growing up, and sometimes I think I use clothing to cover that up, and sometimes it was for the wrong reasons, vanity, and I'm trying to just totally die to self and shed that and everything. But so do you remember what session that was in?
I believe we spoke about that like in the very first one, but we did speak about that yesterday as well. By the way, if you have not watched yesterday's session, oh my, Teresa and Maria, what did you like of that? Like, how was that yesterday?
Amazing. Yes, I was on for that. I was a little late because of church, but
yes, I know. So like that was
I
so
hope you don't lose potential clients because of me.
no way, no way. I'm not. I think all of the questions were extremely important, and there was a moment in the session where I was not controlling anything anymore. I think it was like because that's the way it was supposed to have been. I really felt like the Holy Spirit had control of it, and I was so thrilled that it went like this. So yeah. I'm really okay with the result of the session, and I left it and I told my husband, I feel like my message is being received. I feel like what I'm doing is really special, and you ladies have like given that to me. I can only thank you for yesterday. I can only thank you for that. So thank you.
Probably draw the right clients from what happened, right? It will
yes,
the right clients.
Hopefully, because like the type of clients that like I love to work with is the type of client who really feels the same that we felt together yesterday.
You know what's interesting, Lisi? If you had not extended it a couple of days, I don't know that it would have fully penetrated to the same depth or the same meaning, because unless, I mean, I've lived all over the country, and I mean, I've not lived a sheltered life at all, but that was a unique concept. And I think it takes people a little while for that to sink in and to start to feel, people who have body images and have, you know, absorbed parents' beliefs, mothers and fathers,
yes,
about what is appropriate clothing, you know, for women. And so I think whatever you do well, I can only speak for myself. It was, I was pretty sure I felt confident I would join you in this process at the end of Friday. And then Saturday, I felt a little bit more sure, but then yesterday it was just undeniable. So I think it takes a little time, and your clients are going to need just, you know, the length that you went to just stick with it and wait for us to be ready, some of us, to hear it and fully absorb it. So, you know, 7 days was the key, I think, but you will know better by when you see your enrollments.
That's great feedback. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, I do believe that the way that we have been approaching and dealing and talking about fashion is totally unique. So for people to wrap their minds around it and like can go from what they are used to listening to learning about and what they're used to believing in, to changing their minds to something that is like actually living like you were meant to be, like the woman that God created it to be. And full alliance and alignment with his grace, with what he wants us to be. And there is something else about that, and that goes out to women who have their own families. We are
Come on in. Sorry, I'm late.
pillars in
Okay.
our families.
You're my whole new world.
Right.
You're my 65.
We are the strong pillars in our families. We are support. We are the ones who really are there for our families no matter what. Women do that. And we have to be strong. We have to feel good about ourselves so that we can do that and still be strong. We cannot give what we are not full of. If we're not full of love, we cannot love. If we're not full of strength, we cannot be strong for others. If we're not confident, we cannot cheer for others to be confident as well. So we do have to remember that, yes, we have our husbands, children, parents, friends, family around us that we are there for support. But if we don't stop at a certain time in our lives to look at ourselves and to get like some different fuel to really be able to give. We are natural givers, and we give so much that when we like stop to look at us, we haven't got anything left on us for ourselves. So this is kind of like meeting us again, finding our true love for ourselves, showing that to others through the way that we look, so that we can be there for them over and over again. If not, there will be a day they will come for us and we are not there because we've given it all, right? So it is so important that we realize that in our lives, we have to take care of ourselves. We take care of everyone, but not everyone takes care of us. So that's our job, and we do that honoring the Lord and making sure that we're doing it the way he wants us to do. And then we go back to vanity, which is, and if you go and the person I heard it from was Father Mike Schmitz. He's from Minnesota, and I love his homilies. And he was exactly talking about what it is to be vain. And he was speaking to people who were, oh, I have this gift, but I am not doing this because I don't want people to think that I'm showing off.
Yep.
And there is no greater vanity than hiding like this gift that God has given you because you're afraid of what others will say and think.
Yes, amen. I'm familiar with Father Mike Schmitz because I lived in Minnesota for most of my life. So.
I love him. I think he's like amazing, and I wish more priests would be doing like what he's doing out there, because like he's helping so many people in a very simple and objective way. Right? So we started our challenge talking about how to become more approachable and authoritative as we need, right? So we can play around with our image, going there and here, there and here. We have design elements that we can use to look more authoritative or more approachable. Do you remember what these design elements are?
Some.
Let's see. It's time
In
for
my
a
notes.
test. Quick quiz.
Lines.
Lines.
Mhm.
Yes, lines.
And I thought you had said a V-neck, although today you said it was universal, and I've heard that before, but that it can tend to go a little more authoritative because of the point, right? The lines.
Yes and no.
As a
Yes and no. Yeah. It is a straight line when you have a V-neck. Yes, it is. Okay. But it will depend on your facial lines as well. Like what kind of lines run on your face. So it will always be, remember that I had like way to measure how, oh, this is too bad, it's too light. Let me see. You can't read, right? So let me work on this. Let's see if it gets better. Today the sun is bright, so it's a little.
Send some over.
Oh, yeah, well, we had a beautiful Sunday here.
Yes.
Saturday was fine, but yesterday the day was so beautiful. Better. Yes, it's better. So it's always a combination. So like if you're working like with straight lines on a person who has already lots of straight lines, that's a lot of straight lines, and then it adds up a lot of authority. Okay. But if you're talking about straight lines on a person who has more curved lines, more round lines, then it kind of makes it more balanced. Okay. So the design elements we have, they are like lines, which can be external and internal lines, right? Meaning design or print and patterns and cut inside. We have color. And when it comes to color, what happens?
The deeper is more authoritative.
Deeper, more authoritative, yes. And what is more approachable?
The lighter and the pastels and
Softer, yes.
Icy, you said?
Icy is a characteristic that goes to cool colors, regardless of being dark or light or anything. Cool
Okay.
colors like, and I was speaking specifically about yellow.
Right.
Yeah, because like for a person who's got like cool undertone, the right yellow is the icy yellow.
Gosh, yeah, I remember that now. Yeah.
So it's
How do the different seasonalities play into that then? So I'm naturally a winter, and so if you're a spring, wouldn't you kind of naturally tend toward the lighter colors and then thus lose authority because you're just kind of wearing clothes in your seasonal color tones?
within every palette, you will have colors of different characteristics. So you're gonna have deeper colors in spring. And also you have to remember that, like I'm saying here, you're not you're not only going to cater to color. So if the color you're wearing is lighter, you're gonna work with lines. And then we also have to work with like, are you wearing what kind of fabric it is?
Very
So there-
structured versus flowy and
Exactly. So this is when adding up all of the other design elements will help you understand the level of approachability that the person is portraying. It might be higher or lower because of the whole combination. The items alone, they send out this sign of approachability or authoritative authority. If you're sending out like a combination of many authority signs, you're going to be like looking super authoritative. But if you're sending out more signs of approachability, then you're going to be like balancing that to more approachable, right? It's never one element because like when you look at some like clothing item, it's never got one only characteristic. There are many characteristics in everything you wear. So what you have to do is analyze that item and see what characteristics are behind that. What signals is that piece sending out? And then, so this is the interesting thing. First, you will look at that and think about the piece of item alone. What kind of communication is that sending out? What is the message behind that? And then how does that coordinate with your own personal message that is your body, your face, your hair, your eyes, your features, all of those together? And then each one of us has like very different features that can be either like very authoritative like, that can be very approachable, that can be balanced. However, more often than not, we can play with them, especially using hair, makeup. If you do some aesthetic procedure, you might be able to change a thing here or there. I'm not for major changes at all. I think that's up to anyone. Like you all know what will really make a difference for you, but God never makes mistakes. If he created us one way, there's a reason for that. So before having this major change, I would say try to understand what is behind that feature and why is it a problem for you and why is it so. Okay, another story. I had my nose done. I've had a nose job. Okay. I've wanted that since I was a teenager. As a teenager, I hated my nose. I couldn't look at myself in the mirror. Like if there was something about me that I was not happy about, was my nose. Once I went to this doctor and he said to me, I'm not doing it. And I was like, why not? I'm not doing it because you have a very strong personality. You're a very strong and remarkable woman. If you really do anything to your nose, because the nose is a very delicate area, the very little that we touch will be a lot, and you will not be the same person anymore. It will change the way people see you. And I was like, okay, well, I'm out, I don't care. Years later, I have like terrible seasonal allergies. And then I went to the doctor and I needed to have a nose surgery because of my allergies. I couldn't breathe anymore. There was like no space, no air was going through, and I needed that surgery. And then I was like, wow, I'm having a surgery already. Why not do the two of them? I did. But just like the first doctor told me, it was such a subtle change that I needed that the doctor did it too much. So now I have this very tiny nose that is super delicate and that I am not super delicate. So when people look at me, sometimes it has become an issue because they expect me to be very gentle and delicate and kind and soft. And I am more of a tractor. I'm sorry. I am like super kind in my heart, but in my actions, sometimes I have to really be mindful and remind myself that people are not always ready for that tractor in me taking action, right? So it goes like back and forth, like me thinking that was good because it has helped me people think that I have a lighter appearance, that I am now like more approachable because I was very severe with the nose that I had. But on the other hand, when people look at me, they don't always get like what it is, because there is a lot more softness to my face now than there is softness in my person. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to have a major body change, be that your body or face, you have to know the changes that are coming with that physical change. So I'm not 100% for all changes because of the experience that I have had with that. And I know that if you know what you're going to be changing in the way people see you after you have that change it on you, then you can make a change. But most people are only concerned about beauty, which was my concern back then. I had no idea what I was doing. I just didn't like my nose. But like, full honesty, do you know any teenager who does? Teenagers are so self-conscious.
Mine, and I do have a more delicate. That's one area that I'm okay. I'm good. But I used to want to have breast augmentation, and I was at a spiritual retreat once, and there was this beautiful woman there who, beautiful inside and out. Like she adopted all these children and everything, and I won't get into all that, but she was a beauty pageant contestant winner and everything. But we went to dinner And I was telling her how I used to always want to have breast augmentation because I'm very much about lines, and I think people read me like very authoritative, the way I dress and everything. And that would soften, you know, the lines, and I felt I would look better in clothes. They would fit better. And she showed me a photo that she used to have much larger breasts, but she loves to dance, and so do I. And she said they were in the way. I eventually came to the point where I wanted to get them reduced because they were getting in the way of her gift of dancing. And that was just such a huge message to me, because I love to dance, and I had never thought of it that way.
Yeah, these are the things that we have to think about before anything major, right? Then, like I was saying before, God never makes a mistake. When He made us, there was a purpose in the way we were created. So there is a purpose for us to look like this, and there's a message for us to communicate because of the way we look. When we learn to enhance and make people really perceive those features in us and communicate that as a whole with integrity and congruence by the way that we put ourselves together, we finally make the Lord's job complete by the way that we choose how to put ourselves together. He gave us the canvas. It's time for us to work on that and make that canvas work for Him.
Amen.
Right? That's what we are doing together here. So we have lines, we have color, we have fabric, we have the use or not of print. Prints, pattern, texture, they go way down the line in being approachable. The more pattern, the more like prints, the more texture you wear, the more approachable you will look. So if you are a person who's already got a lot of texture and print on yourself, and you're adding a lot of texture and print in what you wear, the level of approachability that you are creating is very, very high. And that might make people not think you're credible, not believe that you are professional, think that you are like very easy to bend, that you will not stick to your principles, right? On the other hand, if you have like lots of solid color space on yourself, and then you wear lots of solid colors, and you also have solid gestures as you move, as you talk, that will add authority, right? And like I said the other day, you can very easily change the way you dress. You can very easily change your makeup, your hairstyle. It's a matter of maybe just like coordinating things in a different way, using a different color, applying a different technique. But learning to move and use your gestures in a different way is much harder, because that has to do with the core in you, like your true personality and the way you behave. So many times, if you feel that people think you're too authoritative or too approachable, because it will be hard for you to change your gestures, even the way you walk, if you listen to yourself when you're walking, that means you have an authoritative walk. If you're a silent walker, that means you have an approachable walk. Okay, so even that has to go together so that we understand what you need in order to convey your core message, what you really want to say, be that for yourself or your business. Be that because you want to attract people to relate on a personal level, or because you want to have success in your business, right? My daughter, that little lady who was here yesterday, when she walks and talks, oh my, she's super strong and super heavy. Even when she's being sweet, she hugs me in a way that it hurts, right? So she will most likely in the future have to learn how to play down all of her strong personality in the way that she chooses her clothes and the style she wears. Because she's going to be a tough cookie. She is already a tough cookie, right? I couldn't hear you.
What is your daughter's name?
Olivia.
Olivia?
Olivia. Yes. She's a 6-year-old going 16. she's really a teenager in her 6-year-old. But she's loving. She's amazing. I have like so many pictures that she makes for me. Mommy, I love you. I made this for you. Every day there is something. It's very sweet. So lines, color, fabric, prints, texture, right? I'm gonna have like texture next to prints because it kind of has like the same meaning, and it's very hard for you, but it's possible. I'm thinking it's hard, but it's possible. Avoid, if you have to choose a top that has texture, prefer that top has texture only, not texture and pattern. If you're choosing a pattern, like some different type of print, whatever, prefer that print is only the print and not plus texture, because that adds information. And to those of you who want to look slimmer, texture adds volume. And by adding volume, and then you have the volume of texture and the volume of print. And then if you have that in a light color, because like what's light, what's printed, what's textured will make you look bigger, right? So these are all of the things you have to be thinking of. Oh my goodness. So I have to remember that I have to look authoritative or I have to look approachable today. But what are the tools that I have? So this piece of clothing that I'm choosing, what are the message that I'm sending out? How am I going to pair this with like this, or that? Should I choose something that is like of a solid color? Should I choose a print? Should I choose some texture? Should I choose a V-neck, a round neck? Like all of this put together is what will, in the end, convey your final message. All right. So what questions do we have here? Claire, Joe, welcome, Joe. I want to hear your questions now. Sister Jessica, do you have any questions? Maria, Lisa is like, I know that you have many more questions, so go ahead.
I'm sorry. And then I was talking about not wanting to be vain. I don't want to dominate this if anyone else has questions.
You're only dominating if other people are fighting to speak as well. If they're not, you have like all the right to go ahead and ask again.
I'm curious too, like I unfortunately had other things that I was committed to last week. And so I wasn't on the sessions where you extended. I'm curious, like, were you talking about the same themes as a group? I regret not joining you because did it go until 4 p.m. or was it just another half hour? And what else did you, what did I miss?
Each day was a day. There were days we had an extra full hour. More often than not, we finished like at 1 because that's the time that I was going to pick up my daughter at school. So for you to get like as a VIP, you have access to the full recordings, VIP included, like so the full session.
Yeah.
Right, then you can see that. But if you like go and you do the program, you're gonna have much more than that, and then the VIP recordings come with it as well.
And what are you going deeper, or what will be different about Dress for Express versus a style
Oh,
step up challenge? Like
it will be all about you. I'm gonna go like and say, okay, let me look at your neckline. Let me see what would you pair that with? Show me what you have. Let's see your measurements. Let me see your colors. Let me see your style personality. So with this style personality, this is what you are gonna be reaching. So if you want to like get something different, you have to switch to this. These are the tools you can like. It's all about you all the time. It's basically like I've given you here like a very good view, an overview of what's possible. We are going to make it happen.
And what was my other question now? Now I lost it. Well, if anyone else has a question, sorry.
You will remember. Claire, it seems like you have a question.
Well, while we were talking, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, well, while we were talking, I had a realization of maybe why I always look so cute. People always think I'm so cute. Because like Lisa was saying, I've always wanted to have more up here because I've always been so small, especially since I lost weight a few years ago and I just couldn't gain it back. And so I've like thought about getting augmentation. But so I dress with lots of curves that, you know, go in at the waist and that flare out. Because if I wear straight lines, I lose all my figure because I don't have enough difference. I do have an hourglass, but it's just so narrow. And so I think that's why I always dress in those curves, because that's the only way I can get what I think of as adult figure. And I think that's why I don't have an authoritative look. I don't have all those straight lines, just because all the clothes I always choose I try so hard to pick feminine styles that'll give me a female shape. So that's something I realized, maybe that's why I don't look so authoritative.
It could be that, yes, it could be that. As you described what you would be wearing, you talked about the shape, the fit of the dress, like in your figure. If you said that you're like a very narrow hourglass, I would probably want to see your shape like more tri-dimensional so that I can see what it looks like from the sides, right? Because it's not only about what we see like as if we were flat. We are not flat people, right? We are dimensional. So because of that, I would like to see what it would look like from the sides as well. But it will also depend on the lines that you have on the dress. Because like the dress is a very feminine shaped dress, great. But it can be also that the dress has straight lines. So you can choose dresses that will cater to your body while allowing room for you to look more authoritative because of the fabric, because of the external, internal lines, because of the color, right? There are many other things. And also it's not only the dress, it's like what shoe you're wearing, what kind of accessories you are putting together. All of that will give you the final answer. So like, for instance, in the Dress to Express program, one of the things that we will do is like, let me see what you mean. You have to bring it and we're going to discuss it together. And then I'm going to give you suggestions. So change this, change that, and like go there, do that, and bring the picture. Like, so we're going to be working on that like every day so that you can really see the difference and learn from that, right? This is all about finding what works for you and that you are confident, comfortable, and communicating exactly what you want.
The 3 C's.
Yes, the 3 C's.
Yeah, we didn't discuss shoes at all, and I'm a real shoe hound. I mean, not that I have that many, but I feel like they really, you know, my ideal wardrobe would be the best fitting pair of jeans that fit me perfectly, a high quality, beautiful t-shirt, and then a excuse me, kick-ass pair of shoes. That is like my goal. That's just how but we haven't discussed that. So I'm very eager to hear, about shoes.
I love talking about shoes. Like, I have to confess that I'm a little frustrated that I live in New York and I cannot wear like my beautiful shoes. I have them like in my closet and I look at them and I'm crazy for shoes. There is science for shoes as well. Shoes also communicate, and shoes also play like a great role in your image because they can take people's eyes to the wrong place. They can make you look short when you were not. They can make you look authoritative when you were not. They can make you look more elegant. They can make or break your look. And yes, we're going to talk about shoes in the program. And because I said like I'm the style nerd, remember? There is even a moment in which you're going to learn to calculate your best heel so that like you don't even have to worry about it. You just know it.
Yay.
There are 3 different formulas to understand the best heel height for you. 3 different formulas. I'm going to bring you those formulas.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are you going to get into the 7, I forgot what you called it, personality types or?
Yes. That's number 1. That's the first meeting.
Okay. Because
that's the first.
To me, based on what you were describing, I think perhaps some of my ideas of what some of them are different than how you were starting to describe them, but you didn't get real.
The terminology that I use, something about style that is super important. If you go and start reading blogs, you will see the most different names for style, okay? And some names you will hear them and they are so much related to what's happening now in our life that it may not be related to what will happen in the future. So all of the terminology that I use is timeless, meaning it will make sense to you. It will make sense to your children, your grandchildren, and whomever comes in the future, because it's not about fashion. It's about communication through personal image. So that will be applicable forever and ever. And you may see different names here and there, but with the knowledge that you have of course, that the deeper knowledge comes in the professional training program. I'm going to give you tools for you to work on your style. But what I mean is, it may change over there. They will call it a different name, but it still will make sense that you keep on using our terms because they are just like connected to life and yourself. It's something intrinsic, not extrinsic.
And I think that I think I have a sense that I am aware of them and that I often would tend toward elegance, sometimes for evening events, drama, and when dating maybe alluring, I don't know. But I don't think I was consciously aware of these. You know what I mean?
The thing is, we all have we all have one main style personality that is like the core. And then there are 2 that will be varying here and there depending on what stage in life we are. You may, for an event, go there and pick one that is not one of the 3 to use because you need that energy in what you're going to be wearing. But that doesn't make you be that kind of a person.
You're expressing
it's just like that moment in time that you needed that extra energy and you cater to that.
Yeah. That makes
but then you are able to do that because you know you want and need that.
And I thought of, based on what Claire was saying, when I kind of dress with lines, I more was thought of lines, like I would still wear fitted jackets, but then the line was like, maybe I wore a black jacket with black trousers and a bright shell or something. And then with the shoe, it created a line. So for example, like Ellen Tracy, I never wore Ellen Tracy clothes because they're so straight up and down. And I too am curved and, dressed that way. So I think to your point, I've also kind of been consciously aware of creating a line almost like without wearing something that's straight up and down, right?
Yeah, so like the thing about line is like there is line in everything. It's what kind of line, right? It's what kind of line, where you are cutting that line, and how that line works for you, right? So regardless of that being boxy or that being feminine, there is line. There is line.
Yeah, because it's not just vertical lines, because you can wear a top that cuts you at the widest spot, and that's like a bad line for you, right?
Yes. It all depends on why you're doing that, because some people might be doing that with a purpose, with a reason. Let me tell you this, like I had this client a while ago. She's a Brazilian, and like we mentioned the other day, Brazilians are like, we usually have like hourglass bodies or pear-shaped silhouettes. Like that's what's more common with Brazilians. She was what every woman would look at and say like, oh my gosh, what a body. Perfect hourglass, full breast, perfect like behind, super round. You know what her complaint was? I don't like it that people look at my body that much. I don't want to show that I have an hourglass shape.
That makes sense.
So her struggle was exactly the opposite. She did not want to have a feminine silhouette. She asked me to help her look more squared.
Oh, yeah. No, I understand.
Oh.
Yeah. And based on what you said about J-Lo, she used her assets.
Yes. Literally her assets. That depends. So like when you say that, you can create lines on purpose because of your goal with that. Right? So the other day we saw Claire's dress that is like totally what century is that dress, Claire?
It's from a narrow period in the Victorian era. It's from the late 1870s.
Okay.
I love the Victorian era. It's beautiful.
We cannot like say enough about that dress. If you think of the 1920s, is it the 20s when women had like the dresses that they were like on the hip, that they had that line?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very late 20s.
Late 20s. Okay, so back then, every woman wanted to really enhance their hips. So they would actually like make a point in ending lines at the hip line, at like exactly where nowadays we avoid. So this is why I also say that saying that like the beautiful woman looks like this, and that is so wrong, because you will try, for instance, you will go there, work on your body in a way that you look perfect for what people out there are saying that is the perfect body. 5 years later, the perfect body is exactly the body you had 5 years before. So like, why are we doing that to ourselves, right? Let's just enjoy our bodies the way they are, feel good about it, and embrace our figures and dress our figure to show who we are inside. It matters so much more.
Right. Do you remember?
So much easier. Sorry.
Oh, God, Teresa, I was just going to bring up about you and your strong arms. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say my daughter, who's 22, when she lived close by for a short time and we would go to the gym together, she did very, very little work on her upper body. She's quite well endowed. She wanted big thighs and a big butt. Well, that is the last thing. When I was her age, that was absolutely not what people wanted. So this is just so perfect. change the clothes, change the color, change the shape. Don't change you.
Yes,
Just,
yes.
just be healthy. Because
Exactly.
things are going to keep changing, but you have to be okay. Because if you're constantly trying to change yourself to meet whatever is in style, that's fruitless. You will never be satisfied.
Never. There is always going to be something you're trying to catch up with. You're playing catch up all the time. And these trends, they are created not because people decided, like people realize, oh, I realize now that what's beautiful is this silhouette. It's not because of that. There is usually some interest behind. It's something they want to sell. Exactly. There's money behind. It's either something they want to sell. It's either like some celebrity that is more popular that like everybody wants to look like her. Remember when Kim Kardashian like became the big star of Being Famous show? Everyone wanted to have her waist, her hips, and she kept on having surgery after surgery. And like, what are you going to do then? Like every time she's got a surgery, you're going to have a surgery yourself? Like, that's insane. And now she is like divorcing the man who actually made her have all the surgeries because he never thought she was perfect. So like, was it worth it? When someone comes to me, and I've talked to some of you about this these days, when someone comes to me and says, okay, I want to have this certain surgery. First question is why? If it is not about you, how you feel about yourself, if it's because of what others think, if it's because of what others will do for you, if you have that change it, it's not worth it. It's only worth if you're doing that for yourself. If that's something that is going to make a difference in your heart. If not, if you're thinking of like I have this friend of mine, he's an aesthetician, and he does Botox and fillers and all of that stuff. And he was telling me that like teenagers for their prom, they're having their lips done. Like what? I don't get it. I don't get it. And us as moms and then grandmas and like aunts and like whatever like feminine figure we have in a family where there's a teenager who's catering to that, we have to remind them that that's going to fade. That is going to fade. That is artificial. That is money they're spending too early. They don't even know how much they love or not themselves. Being a teenager is hard. It's so hard. Having to embrace a body you don't know what will look like. And like right now, it's not the body you want to have. Because like that's a time in our life when we look awkward. And looking awkward is part of being a teenager. So if there is something that you cannot do is try to alter your body. Why do you want a teenager? You know nothing about the future. It's too early.
How many of you have gone to a class reunion and the one that you thought everyone thought was not so hot looking or however you want to describe it, is turned into a beautiful swan? You know, there was someone that I knew that it was like, oh my gosh, that's Suzanne. And she's a beautiful swan now, you know.
That's it. That's it. It takes time. It takes time.
Right.
And the other day when Lisa was talking about, how you feel is what you will project. And I'm not getting it exactly the way she said it, but essentially it's more about how you feel about yourself that's going to project. And then that's what's more impactful on people than what you look like. And she made me think of this girl in high school, in ninth grade, the first year of high school, and I had just moved to the town. And in my very limited little brain, I was like, I don't understand why the guys, are so interested in her and why all the girls want to be friends with her. If you literally took a photo of her, she was not attractive. She had this awful, but in years later, I remember thinking she was just so full of life And she just, and it was like, okay, I don't understand what's going on, but I want part of it. Like, and that's what people fed into, was her exuberance and her whatever, whether it was what she really felt or whether she faked it. But if you were to if I showed you a picture of her, you would say, are you kidding me? Not what you would say any kind of formula for beauty. It was all from just
Confidence. It's
Yeah.
confidence. It's like when you are confident in yourself,
Mhm.
and this is like the magic that having this appearance that is meaningful and that is congruent with whom you are will do. Because you become like, it's as if you gave birth to yourself again. You give yourself a second opportunity to shine, but then now you do it knowing what you're doing. So you go and you assess your truth, and you assess like your natural beauty in a way that you understand it, and then you connect that to who you are. And it makes so much sense that there's no other way for you than to look at yourself and then go, oh, I love what I see. And there's no reason for me to hide. There's no reason for me not to go out there and put myself and give my best, because I look great. And I look great because I know who I am. I know what looks good on me, and I know why it looks good on me. So it's like I'm in love with what I do. And I love the magic that it does to people. I thought that was a question. I was like, okay.
No, I have one question before I have to leave, but I will be seeing you and whoever else decides to join the program. I just had, only because I have this, I'm just going to take a walk up to the store, but I put on what I would call larger, a little bit, more attractive earrings. But now look, I'm wearing a completely plain shirt. And I feel like if I were to wear like a FUD necklace, is it too, there's too much, right? Or there can
You're
be.
right to think so. You're right to think so. You don't have to wear anything major, anything big. Sometimes it can be just like something that will add light to you, right? It can be something small. It can be like a delicate necklace. It can be sometimes a scarf. It depends, right? If you're wearing like dangling earrings, yes, you have to be more careful about what you're gonna be wearing here. But because you have like a crew neck,
Right.
I would suggest you look into something to really have on your neck. Like, yes, that down there. It doesn't have to be large. No, it doesn't have to match in size. It just has to work like as in the balance point, creating the frame for your face.
Okay, I'll be interested in exploring that, because that's where I feel like, okay, now what do I do that goes with leather earrings?
You have hair clips?
What?
Do you have hair clips?
Hair clips, yes.
Like the side of your hair, the way that you're styling it, like the other side.
Yep. Yeah.
Like,
This is it's flatter.
Pull it up a bit and just have a hair clip. Yeah, like up, upper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just upper.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks pretty.
And show your face, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I feel with the curls. They all kind of want to come forward, and so I gotta learn. I got a lot to learn. I hope I live long enough.
You will long enough to enjoy it and be fabulous.
Ladies, it's been a joy. Hope to see. Well, I'll see you on Facebook, and whoever is able to join Lisi on. Is it the 30th? I think you said, Lisi, right?
Tuesday the 30th. Yes.
Okay. Well,
Sure.
I would love to see some familiar faces. Have a great day.
Sure you will. See ya. We are anyway about to wrap up today, so I really want to have like more questions from you. Joe, do you have any questions?
I had my question, but I forgot what it was.
Oh, really?
I don't know, I'm looking. I was hoping I wrote it down.
You will remember.
At some point after it's over, I'll remember.
Let's see if Maria, who's so quiet over there, because I know that Maria will be joining us. Two, do you have any questions coming up?
No, I'm good. I'm good for now, but more to come.
I know. Joe, I think she's not on camera because maybe she's busy. Let's see. Well, I'm going to just like give you like the final info, and you can think about your question, Claire. If you remember now, I'll answer now. If not, we can DM later. That's easy.
I remembered.
Oh, good.
I don't know if you remember back that far, but on one or two of the videos of the days, I had my hair up in the way that I normally wear it when I'm dressed. Right now it's just in a braid because it's so rainy that all hairstyles would fail. But I was gonna ask, what do you think I'm portraying with that way that I style my hair? My hair always ends up that big.
There's a lot of romance in you. There's a lot of romance in you. And that hair, even more.
Oh.
That hair was beautiful. Don't get me
Thank you.
wrong. It conveys a lot of romance, which I think does make sense, right? But then like there are some scenes to romance, just like for every style personality, you have like what it is like, what it's good about it, and you have like the drawbacks, like when you overdo it, and when it's not working in your favor, the message that it brings. So looking a little overly romantic makes people do not perceive you as professional. Romantic people are usually fragile. So that's the signals that we send out with when we add too many romantic designs, like elements of design in our appearance.
Interesting. So that's not the one that I would have picked, or that I would have thought would apply to me.
I already have a very good like idea of your styles, but when we get like the first session of our Dress to Express program, we're going to submit a questionnaire, and we're going to work on that together, and we will interpret that together. So you will all learn right off the bat your style personality, right? And once you know that, then you can decide, okay, this is something that I want to enhance. This is something that I want to keep. This is something that I want to minimize. And then when you decide that there is something you want to minimize, we will pick together another style personality to give you support so that that actually happens.
Okay.
Like it's like a tripod. You cannot have like only one leg for a tripod. You cannot have only two legs for a tripod. It will fall. For a tripod, you need three legs. And the three legs are the three styles, the core one and the two supporting styles.
Yeah, I would have thought that my main one would be either, or two very close would be elegant and creative, and then my supporting would be sophisticated, but maybe that's wishful thinking.
Sophisticated and elegant are the same.
Okay.
It's just a different.
I wrote them down as separate things.
Just the different words to say the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, but then like as we see what each of these personality styles need for you to incorporate them, you will identify the things that you do that are more in one or the other. Are you wearing a romper, like a?
I have pink overalls today.
An overall, okay. So
this is actually one of my signature things. I've had these for several years, and I'm known for these pink overalls. Very creative.
Quick one. Yes, it is super creative, and it really does look good on you. I would change the shirt though. Elegant, sophisticated personalities never wear overalls.
I know.
So like, just so you start thinking about it, right? They have a different approach to that.
Okay, so maybe I'm more creative, romantic.
I will not disagree with you too. That like if that doesn't show on your style diagnosis, oh my, no, there is something super wrong. But so confident that those two will show in your style assessment.
Oh yeah.
Let's wait for Tuesday, then we will find out. Lisa, Joe, anything else I can answer to you today?
I just have another comment that I think that sometimes we can all maybe misperceive someone, because when Maria was talking, and then I think, Claire, this may be true too, that maybe your natural style is romantic. And I was getting from Maria that creative because of the lavender she was wearing and the nail polish she chose. But then when we speak, you can speak authoritatively, and then you get this, wow, like she really knows what she's talking about. And self-confidence, just, it's your whole presentation of yourself, I believe, you know. And so I don't know if that helps at all, but like sometimes I'm just amazed when someone opens their mouth and starts talking, and I'm like, wow, like she really is authoritative in her self-confidence, knowing whatever subject matter that she's speaking on, you know.
So to that point, there is something that is super interesting. It's a very smart remark that you made. Like, considering that, she would have to think about her goals and go like, for the audience that I will be speaking to or introducing myself or relating with, is it good that there is a surprise when I start speaking?
Yes.
Or is it better that when they look at me, they already realize I am that kind of person? Because the two can be good. It depends on the impact and the reaction she's expecting from the audience.
Because you mentioned the 7-second rule right at the start of all this.
Yes.
There is the first impression, and sometimes I found myself misperceiving someone based on what I took in the first 7 seconds, and then when they open their mouth and they're talking, I'm like, wow, I was really wrong about her, or you know, like she's really a strong, powerful, authoritative woman based on she knows her stuff, you know.
That is something that you will only know with time if that was a strategy or a mistake.
Okay, yeah, true. Yeah.
It can be both.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
My dear, my loveliest, it has been an amazing pleasure. I have drawn in so much love with all of you. It feels like we've been friends forever, right? I don't know how it goes for you, but it's like, I really don't want to let go. I want to be able to be with you and to see how it's going to come out and see like what you're going to look like in a month and what, like, how it's going to impact all of you. And I hope you feel the same. I hope you want to do that yourselves, because I think we can like actually like have an extra date to put ahead after we finish the Dress to Express program to celebrate. And then we will all dress up to our best and celebrate the new women we have become, because that's going to be a journey we will not forget, right? I'm thrilled to have you in my world. I know we will keep in touch regardless of your next step. I'm really looking forward to seeing you again on Tuesday. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. If not, all you have to do is click the button, sign up, and you will have like all of the information in the coming days. For those of you who have like had the VIP pass, you will receive a login with all of the recordings that you will go there, like type your password, and then you will be able to watch the recordings for the full year. Those of you who decide to join the Dress to Express program will also get those recordings and also the other bonuses. The bonuses will be sent out in an email shortly, as soon as like maybe more towards the end of the week. The video recordings here in the Facebook group will remain there until the end of this week. Then before we begin the program, like probably on the weekend, I will delete the videos from the program, right? I will also send out a survey that I would love for you to answer. because I want to know like what you thought of this whole week we had together, right? And if you can, I would love to have a video from you saying how much you liked it, right? If that's something that is in your heart, I would feel so honored to have a video from you about this week we shared together. Okay?
Okay.
Looking forward to Tuesday. Have a blessed week. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.